Welcome to the new video. Before starting video, remind you to like, share and subscribe this video and channel as well. Let's explore about one of the 21 finalists. 7 Wonders of the World. Moai statues. Moai or Moai are monolithic human figures carved by the Rapa Nui people on Easter Island, Chile in eastern Polynesia, between the years 1250 and 1500 CE. In addition to representing deceased ancestors, the Moai, once they were erected on Oahu, may also have been regarded as the embodiment of powerful living or former chiefs and important lineage status symbols. Hundreds of statues, or Moai, dot the landscape Easter Island, known to locals as Rapa Nui. Most of the Moai ring the island with their backs to the sea, but many never made it out of the Rano Raraku quarry, seen here, where they were carved from volcanic stone, one of the most remote inhabited locations on Earth. Easter Island is famous for the 1,000 or so enigmatic, towering statues that dot its landscape, called Moai. Easter Island is famous for its stone statues of human figures, known as Moai, meaning statue. The island is known to its inhabitants as Rapa Nui. Easter Island is situated over 3,500 kilometers, about 2,200 miles, west of Chile, the country to which it belongs. It is one of the most isolated inhabited islands on Earth. Between roughly 1100 and 1650, Rapa Nui carvers created some 900 of these sculptures, nearly all of which are still in situ. The Moai represent ancestral chiefs, who were believed to be descended directly from the gods, and whose supernatural powers could be harnessed for the benefit of humanity. Earlier, a fire caused irreparable damage to hundreds of Moai, according to the local government of the island, known as Rapa Nui to locals. At latest count on the island, there are 1,043 complete Moai. Enormous statues with prominent heads made from volcanic stone. Contrary to popular belief, they aren't just heads. They have torsos too, though many are partially or completely buried. On average, they reach 13 feet in height and weigh 10 metric tons. The tallest Moai stands at nearly 33 feet, 10 meters, and weighs around 75 tons. The Moai statues on Easter Island all face inward. Legend has it that the Polynesian people who built the Moai, the Rapa Nui, believed that they were the only people in the whole world, and that any invaders would have to come from within the island, not by sea. So the Moai statues face inwards, toward the center of the island, to protect the island. Another theory is that families of Rapa Nui chiefs commissioned the Moai, who represented their deceased ancestors, and positioned them to face their communities and watch over them. Most of the statues stand with their backs to the sea on stone platforms called Oahu, which hold up to 15 statues. Some Moai are adorned with cylindrical red stones called pukao on their heads, which represents a top knot of hair. But the true number of Moai on the island is unknown because many remain buried in the Rano Raraku quarry on the island's south shore, where the statues were built. The largest discovered Moai, named El Gigante, is one that never made it out of Rano Raraku. It is 69 feet tall and is thought to weigh about 200 metric tons. These statues were erected hundreds of years before the first European arrived on the island on Easter Sunday 1722. Van Tilburg believes Polynesians discovered the island around AD 1000 and developed advanced social, political, and religious systems that produced the noble Moai. Rapa Nui was deforested by the time the first European arrived in 1722. Evidence shows the island's indigenous people were able to adapt somewhat by building resilient farming systems. In 1722, Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen landed on a small island in the Pacific Ocean. Being Easter Sunday, he named the place Easter Island. The people who lived there called it Rapa Nui. On Rapa Nui, The European adventurers were startled to find massive stone carvings called Moai. The Rapa Nui people believed that their chiefs were descended from the gods, and that after death they would once again become divine. The statues were built to temporarily contain the spirits of their ancestors. The Ahuhu upon which they stand were once the sites of death rituals, and excavations have found human remains, both cremated and buried at some sites. Moai eyes did not get added until they got to their final resting spot. Nobody really knows how the huge statues were transported around Easter Island. The fallen Moai have fallen for a reason. There's a superstition that the fallen Moai have fallen for a reason, so there should be no attempt to bring them back to their feet. El Gigante, the largest Moai ever carved on Easter Island, is El Gigante, which is still part of the rock cliff quarry. If it were finished and erected, it would be the largest statue today, measuring over 21 meters and would weigh between 160 to 180 tons. Not all the Moai had their eyes filled, not all the Moai had their eyes filled with coral eyes. It is believed that only the most prominent statues representing the most important ancestors had their eyes custom fitted during special ceremonies. Moai all have bodies. At first, it may appear that the statue heads make up the whole of the Moai statues. But archaeologists decided to dig and found full bodies were supporting many of the heads. Moai were not always standing. Although it is believed that all the Moai were standing when they were at their final place of display, none of the Moai statues were standing when scientists first arrived. The statues that can be seen upright today have been re-erected by teams with cranes, which is a time-consuming and costly effort. Visiting Easter Island and the mystery of the Moai statues was an incredible experience. Easter Island, Rapa Nui, is definitely kid-friendly and a wonderful place to travel and explore. Why is Moai a mystery? Easter Island must surely be one of the greatest mysteries of human civilization. Many theories have been formed over the years about where the original inhabitants came from, why they built hundreds of monumental statues called Moai, how they transported them, and why the people who made them eventually died out. Moai was stolen. The captain of a British ship removed the statue from Easter Island in 1868 after making a deal with a Rapa Nui chief to take it. At least, that's what the captain claimed. He took the statue back to England, where he presented it to Queen Victoria as a gift. A total of 12 Moai are known to have been removed from Easter Island and to remain overseas. Seeing the sculptures is simple. Visitors can walk right up to them. But touching the Moai is strictly forbidden, as they still have great religious significance to the locals. Easter Island receives relatively few visitors. However, its small size of 65 square miles, 165 square kilometers, can make it feel busy. Most people visit the main sites, and it's worth remembering that Rapa Nui is only 14 miles long and 7 miles wide. Around 100,000 tourists per year. Easter Island was the first Pacific land to be registered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, acknowledging its global significance. In response to the devastating fires of Twin by 2 at Rapa Nui Park, UNESCO completed in June 2023 a detailed diagnosis of the damage to archaeological resources and stressed the need for short-term interventions to protect and preserve this world-renowned heritage site. These are some most important highlights and famous facts about Easter Island. To know more, viewers have to research more or schedule for the visit and explore it. Thank you for watching. Keep watching, keep learning, like, share and subscribe.